Hello. The Kjellberg CUTi 70 plasma cutter, and because I couldn't find really much online about this machine. Of course I could find some spec sheet and info materials and even the manual, but that was not enough for me. I hoped to see some videos showing this machine before I bought it. I couldn't find any, so I thought after I bought this machine used. I thought I make a video about it to show this machine. I think it's a very fine machine, and very simple, and yet really high quality. It's lighter. It's unfortunately on the slightly higher spectrum of the price. This is, but I bought it used, and it goes up to 70 amps, and you can detach both cables, so the ground connection and the torch, which is a very good thing to have for transportation or storage. Makes it a lot easier. Now this machine is very compact. It's lightweight. If we are looking at the 70 amps that it delivers, 70 amps this machine can handle for 35% of the working time. 50% is 60 amps and 100% is 50 amps. So the machine is roughly, I would say, 18-inch long, something for 45 centimeters, somewhere in that region. High is the height of it is around 30 centimeters, 12 inches, and the width is around 8 inches, probably somewhere in that region, maybe a little less. So it has a power connection, 32 amps, 400 volts, and on the back you see a fan, power and air supply with a little filter unit, and also this is where you set up the pressure. It's 5 bar. 5 bar is, if I'm not mistaken, around 72 psi, and going back to the front, this machine weighs only 16.4, probably with the cable a little bit more, kilograms, which I guess is in the 30 round pound region, so lightweight for its performance. It has an on and off switch and the amp setting regulator, and that's it. You have 2 lights to see if it's on, and another light that, or 2 lights, once that informs you that gas is okay, and the other if something should be wrong. Now, what I didn't find in the manual, and this is one of the reasons that I decided to make this film, is how to connect, or rather disconnect, the torch. It's not obvious, it's not easy, and I had my troubles with it, because the manual says use the special wrench, set the marking according to the marking, and that's it. Well, I paraphrase it a little bit, but I had no idea how to do it. And on the back, if you look closely, once again turn it around, and here you see a plastic latch, a holder. And I found on the internet one picture showing, and something like this was dangling there, like so, like so. And I guess this was the wrench. Why? Because if you look closely at the front, you will see that there's a tiny little hole on the side, on the marking, as it says in the manual. Unfortunately, there's no image, no drawing whatsoever in the manual, so This is why I had to figure it out by myself. Of course I could have called the helpline, but well, we men don't ask for directions, right? So, okay. What came with the machine was the attached torch. This is how it looks at the end, and this is, you just push it in, and then I, to be honest, don't know why they didn't supply this with a normal nut that you would be able to screw in. Now you have to use this wrench, push it into this little hole. There is a spring-loaded thing that you can push. I don't know what's the technical term for this is. Okay, the machine, I have to push it against something so it won't move. So I have to push this thing in and then start rotating. Oh, okay, no, I have to push it first and then rotate, and it will slowly. Once I take out the wrench, you see this things will move freely and it won't screw this thing in. So I have to push once again to screw it in, but not over tighten it, because then it will be very hard to adjust this cutout with this hole, and otherwise you won't be able to unscrew it. So don't overdo it. I did it, and so once it's here, I let it go. Okay, it has very little play. I guess this is fine, and then this will turn, but it won't do anything. Oh, it will actually. So maybe it will just. I think. I haven't figured it out yet, but at this time you can, in order to take it out, you have to push it in. Very sophisticated mechanism. I wished it was something slightly simpler, but I'm happy it is there. So the other thing that was delivered with this machine is this ground cable and or earth cable. I don't know what's the proper technical term. And it's really high quality, and to just like on any welding machine, TIG welder, just push it in and turn it until it's done. I wished something like this was on this side as well, but it isn't. I'm happy with it, that I know how to take this apart. As I said previously, it's easier to take it out and put away to store it. I cut a piece of metal to see how this thing functions, and it cut like through butter, but this was only 4mm steel, 1/8 of an inch, something like that, and well, that's not a big thing. I had it at around 40 amps. I will cut a little bit later 16mm, 5/8 of an inch S355 steel with the torch. Now the torch came to me, it's a little bit, well, worn, I might say. Doesn't look pristine. I cleaned it, it was slightly dirtier, and I wrote an email to the company hoping that they will be able to send to me those sides so I can replace them. Here's a distant spring, and I think I guess it's a heat cap that sits on it, and this is how the end looks. You can unscrew this. I don't remember the correct terms. I'm new to plasma cutting, so the name of it. You have two sensors here that will check if there's contention, if this cap is on. This is the electrode, and everything is really simple to take it apart and to put it back together. No, nothing special or complicated in there. So I will put it back together. And one thing is broken. There was a cover, a spring-loaded cover, so you wouldn't accidentally push the on button. It doesn't support forward takt, so push, working, and push again to turn on with one push and turn another time to turn it off. This machine doesn't support this, and at least that's what I found. To me, it's not a problem. I intend to use this for manual cutting, where I don't intend or don't expect to cut for longer periods of time, where this might be very important. But for some of you, this might be worth considering. I don't know if there is maybe a different torch that makes it possible. But this is it. This machine comes nowadays, I think, with a slightly different torch. Everything's air-cooled. What's really nice about this machine, and this is what really struck me, it's a very old-fashioned look. No LCD displays, no OLED displays, no buttons, covers, and beautiful display that shows you what you are doing. Well, if you are working, you don't have the time to look at this display, and there is not much to set up here. You just turn the knob to the desired amperage, and off you go. The machine, when you push the button before the pilot pilot plasma, whatever it's called, sorry, I forgot it, the technical term, you will hear gas coming out, and when you finish cutting, the gas will always also flow for a little bit until it finishes. This is, I assume, for cooling purposes, so the wear on the parts won't be that big. So this is it, the Kjellberg Finsterwalde, which translated from German, it's a town. Finsterwalde means dark forest. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a plasma cutting machine from a dark forest, right? I mean, not really much that can beat this. CUTi 70, there are two smaller models, CUTi 15 and 30, the number stands for the amperage, and I think one machine 90 and one 110 or maybe 120 amps. Slightly larger, but this was what I was looking for: compact, lightweight, and if I'm not mistaken, they don't change the design too often, which means the design is good. I hope that spare parts will be available even in 10 years from now. Kjellberg is mainly focused on large machines. Maybe this is the reason why there is not much information about this series of machines, because they're making really heavy-duty big industrial machines, and this is, I guess, just a byproduct of their technology. And besides plasma cutting, they have some welding machines, but I think what they are doing most of the time are plasma cutting machines. This is why, I don't know, but I guess that this machine is probably looking like very, well, like 70s, maybe 80s, but inside it's probably top-notch, high-end. This is my guess, and that's why they are still pretty expensive. And in a few minutes, for me, a few hours probably, maybe days, we will be cutting something with this, something slightly thicker, and we will see how it goes. Okay, thanks. Okay, so this is how it went. You see, I made 4 cuts, and I'm happy with it. Really happy. The first cut was awful, and this is due to lack of experience on my side. It's not the machine. It was probably I was moving the torch wrong, or I'm sure I was doing it wrong. The second, third, and fourth cut were much better, and still I have no experience. I cleaned it with a steel brush, the surface, so the movement would be slightly smoother, but still I wasn't very smooth. It's lack of experience, muscle memory, and so forth. So everything that was not perfect is on my side, the error and the mistakes, and not on the machine side. The machine fulfilled my expectations 100%, and I'm very, very happy with it. The cutting speed that you see on the film is real time. I didn't want it to speed it up, so you can have you get a picture how this machine cuts. And if you would like to know something more, want me to show something else on this machine, maybe do other cuts, let me know in the comments below. I hope I was able to help you and get a little bit overview of this, I think, really, really interesting machine, and I hope it will serve me for many years to come. I like it, I really do. I didn't do the cut through both pieces, so I didn't connect them to see if 32 millimeters 1.25 inches roughly this machine would be able to do. I guess it would. Maybe not that quality, but it's still lack of my experience. That's the handicap in this procedure. But if you would like to see something else with this machine, let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.